Now, this whole notion of voter intensity, what will happen with Mr. Trump and the perception that he is changing and softening his stance on illegal immigration? Previously, he said all illegal immigrants had to leave the country, but he wavered last week, saying, quote, he would work with them. Mark Krikorian, executive director for the Center for Immigration Studies, told the Wall Street Journal, quoting now, whatever remaining chance he had to win the White House is gone. The fact now that he has betrayed his base on the signature issue that he ran on seems to me the death knell of his candidacy as a practical matter. Trump campaign manager Kellyanne Conway addressed this perception on CBS News over the weekend during her appearance on Face the Nation.
For those 11 million, if that in fact is the number, he wants to address that issue humanely and fairly. Those were his words. And he also said that he wants to not cause harm to people. So the question is what to do. He has said that if you want to be here legally, you have to apply to be here legally. We all learned in kindergarten to stand in line and wait our turn. And he is not talking about a deportation force, but he is talking about being fair and humane, but also being fair to the American workers who are competing for jobs, being fair to all of us who want secure borders and want the law enforced.
Now, Donald Trump is expected to give his major speech. You see the tweet right there from Mr. Trump. I will be making a major speech on illegal immigration on Wednesday in the great state of Arizona. Big crowds looking for a larger venue. To react to all of this, let's turn to the president of the American Border Patrol, Glenn Spencer, Skyping in right there from the border. Glenn, there you are in Southwest Arizona. When Donald Trump comes to the state on Wednesday, what do you want to hear him say on immigration?
I want Donald, and by the way, I wish he'd come down and talk to me. I want Donald to tell people, yes, he's going to build a wall, but he's going to do more than that. He's going to say, ladies and gentlemen, within 90 days of becoming president, I will be able to walk into the Situation Room of the White House. And there on the wall, it will show actual, real-time, live people crossing the border illegally. Every one of them, I will be able to see every one of them. And if somebody gets past the Border Patrol, I'll call the local supervisor and ask what he needs to stop them, and I'll get it for him. That technology exists to do that. He should stop talking about building a wall and talking about sealing the border and a figure of merit, a bottom line like any businessman has. How many people are going to get past the Border Patrol? According to Governor Brewer, 1 in 4 is caught. That means about 900,000 people get past the Border Patrol. He has to get it down to 10,000. I want him to say that. I want him to say that we're going to get it not 900,000, 10,000, and this is how I'm going to measure it. Now, as far as deporting people, I have a plan called paid leave. In other words, it's inhumane to throw them across the border, but they're costing us a lot of money. I would suggest, after he gets all the criminals out and uses proper prosecutorial discretion, that he has a balance of people out there who need to be processed. And I think if the American people see that the border is secure, and Donald Trump has proven that, their hearts will soften.
Well, let me drill down on something. Let me drill down on something here, Glenn. Mike Pence, Sunday on the talk shows, talked about having people leave the country and return, and that way have a pathway to legalization. Are you in favor of something like that?
I am in favor of them returning and then being processed for application to immigrate into the United States. Now,
including citizenship?
No, but we have to approve it. We have to screen it just like everything else, and there are going to be some laws. And that's why I call for paid leave. They may be at home going back there for 6 months, and I think we have to soften that for them. Some of them we're not going to allow to come back in. But, you know, the idea of rounding up people, now, you do have, essentially, by the enforcing and prosecutorial discretion in the right way, you have people who will voluntarily depart. There are some certain residual.
So the bottom line, Glenn, is you're with Trump. You don't believe that it's this affects his ability to get elected. You're right there on the border. 20 seconds. You're still with him.
I'm still with him, but he stopped talking about a wall and start talking about performance, the numbers.
All right. And the eventual goal is not only 3 out of every 4 coming across the border, but stopping it completely as best as that can happen. Glenn Spencer of the American Border Patrol, literally on Arizona's border with the Mexican state of Sonora. We thank you very much for your time, Glenn. So, you heard what Glenn had to say. Coming up next, we will take the long view historically. As I joked earlier, the name Trump begins with the letters TR. What are the similarities, if any, between Donald Trump and the late, great Theodore Roosevelt? We will have Daniel Ruddy along. He's written a brand new book on that subject, and he's next on Newsmax Prime.